end. Last 2 points. Now Becker with a little break here. 3-2.
Becker had a terrific answer for the return by Sampras. As good a return as Pete has delivered in the set.
4-2 Becker.
We missed the return there, but that was a tremendous one. Trying to hit the topspin lob. Becker not fooled. That's one of those overheads you hit when you're trying to fool around. You sort of hit it inside out as a joke. It rarely go in, but that worked for Becker there.
Princess Diana.
I don't think he meant to hit it, but the desired effect.
4-2. Oh, my. Bad bounce, and Becker was going to use a little touch shot there, and the ball wasn't where he expected it to be. So
you know what it was? He was just indecisive, Dick, at this moment. It's the first bad half volley I've seen him hit throughout the championships. He had time. Wasn't a particularly bad shot to hit. He just changed his mind at the last instant, and the ball went nowhere. Big break for Sampras.
Back on serve. Sampras celebrates with his 4th ace.
4-all.
It's just when to put on more pressure, too, as Pete Sampras. Rub it in just a little bit. Blow an ace by you.
Sampras.
As it turned out, that missed half volley was a real confidence boost to Sampras. 2 big first serves there. He'd been struggling that first serve before. That one clocked 129 miles per hour. Good time for that.
Now Sampras gets a second serve, 5 points to 4.
That's what I love about Wimbledon in the finals, or really throughout the event. You can hear a pin drop now. Real quiet. Avid tennis fans here. The pressure mounting.
Most orderly fans in the world.
Except for the people at the U.S. Open.
Becker.
So the first set point as the serving switches to the other end and defending champion Sampras. Becker, the man who dismissed Agassi in a tiebreaker. 2 of them, has the first one today. Here's the point. Boris Becker wins the opening set.
Well, here's one of the keys to the match. What player can do more with the second serve return? And in that tiebreaker, we see the Boris's parents realize that Becker was the better of the 2.
7-5. Becker took Agassi out in 2 tiebreakers as he won in 4 and won both tiebreakers 7 points to 1 against Agassi. Second set, Becker starts it.
He was up 5-4 in that breaker and had a chance at second serve his own. Next thing you know, he loses the first set. Well, as we suspect, stats going to be very similar. Both players hovering around 60%, same amount of winners basically, close in aces. Sampras, with that one chance we mentioned, was unable to capitalize. And that's probably why it went to 7-6. No real difference.
Losing the first set in this Wimbledon is not a new experience for Sampras. He lost the first set to American Jared Palmer and 1-4, and lost to Matsuoka, the successful Japanese player here in the first, and went on to win in 4.
Becker saw that one coming. And the risk with that shot is Becker saw that one coming. It's a lot easier to hit that drop volley. There wasn't a lot of pace on that ball, so he just decided to feather that backhand over the net.
Ace number 7.
Becker.
We're back live at Wimbledon just shortly after 3 o'clock here at center court.
15.
Boris Becker winning the first set tiebreaker. And when you think about young Pete Sampras' success in winning the last 2 years, he won tie breaks against Courier 2 years ago, first and second sets, and he repeated last year against Ivan Isevich, winning the first 2 sets in tiebreakers. So it's been reversed on him by Becker today. Let's see how he reacts.
He seems hesitant about going to Becker's backhand on the return. Perhaps this is why. Becker's extremely strong up top, can muscle that ball either direction, can also hold it longer than most players.
Just wide.
I saw some chalk fly up from here, but Becker's not going to complain. Perhaps that ball, perhaps there was some chalk wide of the line, but, well, hard to tell from that angle. I could have sworn I saw chalk.
That's happened, though, before, and you weren't always right.
I thought you might bring that up.
Game Sampras.
So it's 1-all. We have much for you in our 6 hours on this breakfast at Wimbledon, and it's live. The ladies' doubles was not completed yesterday. Darkness, they played till 9:30, so you'll see the conclusion of the ladies' championship. 4-all in the third. Repeat of last year's partnerships. And then Martina Navratilova goes for her 19th Wimbledon title, just one from the record. She's live in the mixed doubles. She's partnered with Jonathan Stark, young man from Seattle, Washington. They go against Gigi Fernandez and Cyril Suk. That's all ahead from Wimbledon today. Well, Becker, his record's intact. 7 matches, at least down once, all 7.
70 matches in a row, isn't it now at Wimbledon? He's fallen at least once. This one not a dive, but a slip. Ball landed in. Gigi Fernandez is going to have a busy day. He's got to finish the women's doubles. They wanted her to play at 2 o'clock on court 1, but she promised that she would go directly from the women's doubles onto the mixed doubles finals for NBC live coverage.
Becker knew as soon as he struck that volley it wasn't good enough. Opening for Sampras.
Well, that's one of the few balls up high that he hasn't really gone after crisply, and he paid the price for it there. Little chance here for Sampras who'd love 30. It's been the first tentative volleys I've seen from him. so tentative on that half volley there. And look at Pete telling the crowd to get into it. There's some emotion from Pete Sampras.
Wow.
There we go.
Well, he's been hanging around Agassi too much. Learning to play with the crowd.
Well, we saw after the semis when he beat Goran, he did the Matsuoka bow. He said he saw Shuzo do it, thought he'd do it himself. And we see Andre do that quite often. Big chance here for Pete.
3 chances to break.
And the crowd, by the way, loved that Pete Sampras urged them on. This goes to a 5th set. They'll be going nuts by that time. That was one chance on the second serve.
And as you talked about it before, and we have through the years, Boris Becker is as tough as anyone in this situation. There's his wife Barbara on the left.
You know when he's down break point, she stops watching, head down, starts looking at it, waiting for Boris to serve, so she look away.
Delaney Mulcahy, Sampras is steady in front of her. Another second serve. 15-40 to take the lead in the second set. So Pete Sampras has the first break of the match, leads 2-1. Now let's look at the reaction. There's Barbara Becker on the left, Delaney Mulcahy, Sampras' friend, the blonde, in the front. Differing reactions.
But this is why the point's going on, by the way.
Barbara didn't have to look. She knew by the shout from the woman in front that it wasn't good for the Becker side.
Well, she asked Mike DePalmer, who is Boris Becker's hitting partner, how he lost the point, and Mike has to sit there and explain what happened.
Mike, the brush haircut and the glasses. Double fault for Sampras, his 4th.
And he wants to solidify this lead. All great players know the best time to break back is right after you've been broken, so both players on the watch here. Players have a tendency to let down after they've broken serve. And the great players tend to pick it up just a little bit. It seems just a little bit like Becker's trying to outfox himself. He loves that forehand cross court. He started using it, but the last, I'd say, set, he's been going predominantly up the line. Hasn't fooled Pete.
But cat quick at the net is Sampras. Third first serve missed in this game.
That's the first sign of anger from Becker. He knew that he should have had that point as well.
That was a good return right at the feet of Sampras.
What he did there is he tried to go at Pete, but he didn't have enough on it, though. He needed to put more on if you're going to scare a guy like Pete Sampras at net.
Another missed first serve, dropping below 53% now first serve percentage, Sampras. That's not good.
And there's the cross-court forehand right there. Sampras getting a little bit lucky at the Necco, but it also gave Becker more time to line up that forehand. Very similar to Andre Agassi. He sticks the hand out he's not using to set up the ball exactly where he wants it. As the match we see 1 hour old.
And the ace. Number 5 for Sampras. Twice that Becker has come within the fuzz of the ball.